Hello everyone. Today I'm here to give you a very easy makeup tutorial for natural soft glam makeup. I'm actually making this for my mum because she's a bridesmaid at a wedding in a few weekends. That's what we're here to deliver today. I'm going to use my normal skin prep of these four. However, if you don't have these, just a plain moisturiser will work just fine. I am sick, so ignore my voice. When applying your moisturiser, remember to bring it down to your neck as well. Now your skin's prepped, you want a skin primer to help your makeup last throughout the day. Today I'm using these two. Whilst I'm letting the primer sink in, I'm going to do my eyebrows. I used the e.l.f. brow gel. You'll need a spoolie and an eyebrow pencil. If you have fuller brows, you don't need to fill them in, but I have a few sparse areas which I like to fill in. Taking our eyebrow gel first, you only dip in a tiny bit. And then you run that through. This will just keep your brows shape in place all day. If you are filling in your brows, wait for the brow gel to set first before going straight in with a pencil. Usually wait about 30 seconds. And then I take my brow pencil. This one's the Rare Beauty brow pencil. And as you can see, I have like a sparse area here, so I'm going to fill that in. When filling in my brows, I never come all the way down to the front with a heavy hand. Start from about the midsection and brush through. Same on top. Then I just drag it down the tail. Okay, and then when moving down to the front, very lightly brush through them. Like so, just keeping a steady line underneath. Now we look crazy, you just want to brush up this line at the front. And now we have a more natural brow. The reason I done brows first is because you always want to clean them up afterwards. As you can see from brushing through my brows, the product has now kind of been smudged up here. So I just take a cotton pad. You can use a cotton bud as well, whatever one you have. Take some makeup remover, just clean up the edges. See, that is how much excess product that we had, and we don't want that. Okay, now we can start with our base. I'm using Rimmel Multitasker Better Than Filters. This is one of the many dupes for the Charlotte Tilbury, but the e.l.f. Halo Glow is also really good. And I'm just going to put that on my cheeks and a tiny bit on my nose. I then take a beauty blender and make sure it's either damp with water or use a setting spray to dampen your beauty blender. I use a setting spray. I just spray my beauty blender. A damp beauty blender just helps blend your makeup so much better, but you don't want it too wet. If not, it won't blend anything at all. I don't use that product on my forehead only because I get a naturally oily forehead anyway, and I don't really want to highlight that too much. After this step, you can use a foundation if you want to. I'm not going to this time, but if I was to, I'd use the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint. The coverage is really good and it sits really nice on the skin, but my skin isn't looking bad today, so I'm not going to use one. We're now going to focus on our cheeks. For your makeup to last for a longer period, you want to use a liquid or cream product and then set it with a powder product. So I'm going to start with liquid products first, and I'm going to use the Rare Beauty Liquid Contour and the Glow Recipe Blush in Watermelon Glow. For contour placement, I put it here, here, on the sides of my forehead, and here. You want to focus contour where you almost want a lift. That's why I focus the contour on the sides of my forehead instead of the middle, because on the sides it snatches you. If you bring it round to the middle, it kind of just... To blend that, I'm taking this brush, 220 Real Techniques brush. I'm just going to blend that going in an upwards motion. Don't drag it or swipe, just tap it in. Keep going up, don't bring it down. And I'm just going to do the same on the other side. For your forehead, you just want to blend it up and out, if that makes sense. So just keep it in this area. Try and get rid of any harsh lines as well. I start from up here and then I blend it down, if that makes sense, just to kind of blend everything together more seamlessly. With the excess, as you can see, there's like the starting lines. Blend that out over the top very lightly. For the nose, I just do that. I don't contour my nose to shape it, I just kind of do it to bring everything together. You don't want loads going on the outside of your face and nothing in the middle. You want to keep it all balanced. And then for blush, I place it on like the top of my cheekbones, tiny dot on my nose. Then I'm using the Refi brush to blend that out, and I'm using this side of the brush because it's more dense. You want to try and use dense brushes when working with liquid products. It just gives you more control, I think, of product placement. And again for my nose, I just do that. Now for concealer, I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use concealer in shade Cloud. You're going to want to put that underneath your eyes. Don't put your concealer all the way up underneath your eye. You want to always leave a tiny little gap between your concealer placement and your lower lash line, because you don't want to give the concealer a chance to set in between any fine lines. Put my concealer there on my chin, a tiny bit down here just to provide a tiny bit more coverage and to clean up any blending lines. A little dot on my forehead. Again, you're going to grab your beauty blender, making sure it's damp. I start off by blending out my forehead. I just kind of blend it around the center, and then I do my chin. I keep the beauty blender on a slant and I kind of just blend in that same motion. Blend it down, and sometimes I bring it up a tiny bit like that just to kind of shape where we've contoured. And then as you can see, now we have more of a nice line. Doing the same thing. Now for underneath your eyes, you want to make sure that when you're blending, you're looking up. You don't have to fully be like this just helps almost stretch the skin and give you more of a seamless blend to minimize any creasing of your concealer. When blending out my concealer, I bring it down underneath my nose as well and just around it, as I do get redness there. We have quite a harsh line on the side of my nose from where we've blended, so I just tap that out with my finger. This also helps shape our nose. Immediately after setting my concealer, you want to go in with a loose powder, and we immediately want to set our under eyes, and to do that I'm going to use the Huda Beauty loose powder. This is my favourite powder ever. I have a mini which I'm going to let my mum borrow. You want to tap it first, open it. With the mini, you open it and then you want to shake some out onto the back of your hand, and then it will work the same way from here. You want to take a little powder puff and press it in the powder, and you want to distribute it on the back of your hand just so it applies evenly. Again, looking up, you want to put that exactly where you've just put your concealer. Around my nose, on my chin, and then on my forehead as well. That just made our base look so much smoother. I love this powder. I'm just going to take the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder, very fluffy brush, and just put that around here. Because we also put product down here, we don't want that budging either. I only use this on the bottom half of my face. And there you are, and we've still been able to keep the glow on our cheeks, which is good. Now it is time for powdered products. I'm going to use the Too Faced chocolate bronzer. This is in shade Milk Chocolate. Big, like, domed, dense brush. And just tapping that where I put the contour earlier. Again, don't swipe, just tap. Put some on my forehead. You want to just put some under here and drag it down to your neck. Because you're adding a lot of warm products up here, you don't want that to look separate from your body. For blush, I'm using the Benefit Shelly blush. It's just a really nice corally colour and it works really well for natural looks. I'm taking my Refi brush again, but I'm using this side this time. I'm just taking some and then placing that where I put my blush. If you want your blush to last all day, you do have to pack it on somewhat, because it is the first thing that fades away. I'd also put some on the bottom of my chin as well, like so. For highlighter, I'm going to use this Dior palette. Take this white and put that on my inner corner, and I bring it up slightly. I'm also going to put some highlighter on my brow bone and tip of my nose, but I'm going to use this shade instead. I'm going to take this pink and put that on top of where I put my blush. Okay, and now it is time for mascara. First, I'm going to use an eyelash curler. You don't need one, I just prefer how it makes my lashes look, because it does give them a lift. I'm going to quickly curl them. Okay, our lashes are curled, and then for my eyes, I use these two mascaras. I use this one on the tips of my lashes. Because it's a waterproof mascara, it holds your lash curl longer. And then afterwards, I go in with this one on like my entire lash. I am using a mirror, so it's going to look a bit funny. I'm just doing the same on this eye. Okay, that is that coat done, and we're now going to go in with this one. And I apply that to the whole and I apply that to the whole lash. I'm going to use the same highlight palette I used earlier, and I'm going to use this shade. If you don't have a separate palette, you can just use the same bronzer that you used earlier. It works the exact same. Get a little small fluffy eyeshadow brush. Take some. Make sure your mascara is dry before doing this. Apply that to the crease. That looks really scary. I just kind of take it round a few times and then buff it out at the end. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Okay, we are now done with the eyes. If you want to be a little bit extra, you can attempt a wing, and you can also tightline with a dark pencil your lash line just to make it look more full. That's not the vibe I'm feeling today, but if you want to, there are plenty of tutorials elsewhere to watch for eyeliner looks and, you know. So as you can see, I tend to go for more nudie pink lip combos. Today I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner. However, if you want more of an affordable like option, the Rimmel Lasting Finish lip liner in shade 90s Nude is a really good dupe. Like, I don't overline mine, I just follow its natural shape. Line my Cupid's bow like that. And then lastly, to top it off, I'm going to take the Kiko lip gloss in shade 17 and just apply a light layer. There we are. I love this lip gloss, it's so good. And here we have our final look. As you can see, very natural, very glowy. Just checking in with you all because I want to show you guys that this does actually last very well. I filmed that video about 5-6 hours ago. I've drunk water, had dinner. I've been out in the rain, I went to get petrol, and my base is still very much intact, and even the lip liner. So, and I haven't touched up throughout the day either. So yeah, hope you enjoyed my tutorial, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.